Hey everyone, it's T. Today we're diving headfirst into spring gardening, even though it's still a bit chilly outside. I'm excited to finally set up my indoor garden and start sowing seeds for my outdoor garden. I'll explain why these are urgent endeavors, and I'll also tell you about the one vegetable that made my infant stop crying immediately. So if you're ready, let's grow. Today I'm going to be setting up my arrow garden. This is something that my husband bought as a Christmas gift in 2023. Yes, it is 2025, but it's better late than never, so I'll get that set up today. But I'm also going to be starting my own seeds. So here's what I'm going to be using today. I have some yellow watermelon seeds that I collected from some yellow watermelon that I purchased recently. I have some red, yellow, and orange bell pepper seeds that came from peppers that I purchased at the store. These are some strawberry grow kits that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I have 2 of them. I also purchased a tomato grow kit from Dollar Tree. All of these seed starter pots came from Dollar Tree as well. There are 10 in each pack. And as you can see, I have 4 packs of them. These are some stackable trays. I'm not going to be using these in today's video, so when these seeds finally sprout and I'm ready to transfer them, I will be putting them into a lot of containers that I already have outside and these new containers that I purchased this year. But I did want to show you these because they are stackable. So here is one on the bottom. And then I just alternate there, and then here. And you can go up as high as you would like to go with these. I am not sure if I'm going to go higher than 3, but honestly, I think I can. Maybe I should. So I bought 3 of these. These are, I bought it about a month ago, but these are still in stock at Dollar Tree. This is the larger size. They also have some smaller ones like this. They come in a variety of colors. Now that I think about it, I'm going to purchase more of these. I do recommend that you drill holes. They actually do have some little indentations here, which is where they're indicating you should drill holes so you can have some drainage. But there's also a hole indentation right here in the center where you can drill a hole through that. And then what you could do is if you drill a hole through the center of all of your stackable containers, you can have some support by putting a pole in the middle, and that provides you some support so that it's not likely to topple over. So I'm not going to be using those in the video, but I will be using these in a few weeks. I also have a seed vault kit. I purchased this on Amazon because I wanted to have a good variety of seeds. And then this here's some Miracle-Gro seed starter potting mix. This was out in my shed. I'm so glad I checked that this morning because otherwise I was going to have to run out to Lowe's or Home Depot and pick up some. This is, let's see, this is 8 dry quarts. I'm pretty sure this is enough to get started on what I have to do here today. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm not going to use the Dollar Tree ones just yet. Oh, I should probably tell you what's in my seed vault kit. So there are 35 varieties of seeds in here, and there are over 16,000 heirloom seeds. That's according to the packet. And it comes with, I'm going to read these a little bit fast, but basil, bean, beet, bed lettuce, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bush bean, cabbage, cantaloupe, carrot, cauliflower, celery, cherry tomato, corn, cucumber, eggplant, French breakfast radish, kale, kohlrabi, loose leaf lettuce, okra, parsnip, paste tomato, pea, pepper, pumpkin, romaine lettuce, round red radish, spinach, Swiss chard, turnip, watermelon, winter squash, and zucchini. I've already identified which seeds I would like to plant in addition to the ones over here, the yellow watermelon and the different bell peppers. So I went through this list about a month ago and I decided that I was going to plant, let's see, basil, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cantaloupe, celery, cucumber, kale, pepper, spinach, watermelon, zucchini, and of course tomatoes. I wonder if I have any tomato seeds left over from before, because I'm not seeing tomato seeds on here. That would be weird if there are no tomato seeds in here, but I can run out and get some. So those are the things that I am pretty sure I'm going to take care of this week, but I also want to talk to you a little bit about why I'm doing this. So I've decided that I would like to practice the 3 S's this year. So those would be self-sufficiency, and that means growing as much of our food as I possibly can, sustainability, and then survival. So I have played around in the past with growing my own food. It was more of a hobby, and I didn't put as much effort into it as I plan to put into it this year. So this year, this is going to be a survival garden. I want to be able to get the majority of our fruits and vegetables out of my own garden, or at least the fruits and vegetables that we eat pretty frequently. I want to be able to get that stuff from out in the garden. So that's why I'm putting a lot more effort into it this year. I like to say I don't have a green thumb, but I have had some success in the past growing things. So I need to acknowledge the successes that I've had and then build upon the things that I've done in the past that were not as successful. I also purchased this Gardener's Logbook. This is just it will keep me on track in terms of what I'm doing in my garden. So it has a lot of these pages here. They're pretty much, I think the book is full of this page right here. There's not a lot of variation in the book. And so each page is called a plant log, and you would list the name of the plant, the scientific name, and you would check off whether it's a flower, vegetable, fruit, herb, shrub, tree, and if it's an annual, biennial, perennial, a seedling, or bulb. And then you might also want to record the supplier. So if you want to repurchase it, you can do it again. You can get it from the same supplier, or you might also want to document the cost. There are spaces for that. And then you want to document the date that it was germinated, the date that you planted it, where it is location-wise, and then whether it has full sun, partial sun, or shade. And then you would also want to document if you used any fertilizer or soil amendment, if you have what you're doing for pests and weed control, your watering, the date that your plants bloomed, and the date that you harvested them. And then there are like some notes at the bottom. And then you can actually rate on a scale of 1 leaf to 5 leaves your success for that particular plant. In the back of this book, there are some other pages, and let's see. So there's a section called Garden Planning Suggestions and Tips. That's good for people like me. And then there's a hardiness zone page here. It just talks about depending on where you live, what the hardiness zone is, and then where you could go to get some additional information. So this book does direct those of us in the US to the USDA website, but then there's also information for Canadian growers, those who are growing in the UK, those who are growing in Australia, and then there's some information for other international gardeners. If you don't know what your hardiness zone is, you can just go to the USDA website and type in your zip code, and it'll tell you what your zone is. My zone recently changed, but I'm in one of the 6s. I'll just say that much. I'm in the Midwest. But here in the back of the book is a list of your hardiness zones for select cities in the US. So for example, if you live in Nashville, Tennessee, you would be in hardiness zone 7A. If you are in Annapolis, Maryland, you would be in 7B. If you are in Denver, Colorado, you'd be in 5B. If you're in Salt Lake City, you would be in 7A, and so on and so forth. So that's in the book here. I do know the hardiness zones were updated. I'm pretty sure it was 2023. And considering that I just bought this book a couple of months ago, hopefully it is up to date. I do not see my city in here, and not even a city near me is in here. So I'm not sure. But in the back, there's a garden planning grid section. I want to see how many pages of that there are. Okay, you have quite a few pages of that. This is what it looks like. This allows you to plan your garden. This is something that I need to get done because I have so many plans for our garden. In addition to the container gardening that we have done out on our deck, we plan on doing some gardening out in the yard as well. Some container gardening, most likely in the yard, not in-ground gardening. I'm not ready for that yet because I don't do worms. And then I also would like to plant some trees. When we bought our house almost 20 years ago, it'll be 20 years ago this summer, when we bought our house, there were 2 apple trees out back. Over time, one of those trees got really weak. There was some kind of beetle disease, I think it got. So that tree got really weak and it died, and it actually started to crumble. The other apple tree, which was just a few feet away, started being affected. So when my husband had a tree company come out and take care of the first tree and then grind down the stump, he had them do the same thing to the other apple tree, as well as a couple of trees we had in the backyard that he just wanted to have gone. So I will be documenting my garden journey in this book. You don't need something fancy like this. You can just use a regular notebook, any kind of paper you have available. I chose to do my long form planning on just a regular, in a regular spiral notebook. This is where I have a lot of notes for my suburban homesteading that I'm going to be doing this year. I just have a lot of different goals for myself in here. Goals in terms of what my garden is going to look like, things that I would like to learn how to do. Because again, I am focusing on self-sufficiency. So I have a gardening section in here that talks about the different kinds of fruits and vegetables that I would like to grow. I also have a list of medicinal plants that I would like to grow, and I'll just name a couple of those real quick. I would like to grow some echinacea, some aloe vera, some lavender, some lemongrass. But in here, I've documented the things that I would like to grow and then what the benefits of those things are, so that I make sure that I have certain bases covered. I have a safety section in here. Again, this is part of the survival preparations that I'm doing, so the safety section. And I also have just a list of bulk food items and other food items, long-term shelf-stable items that I need to have in my home. I have long said that I shop like a prepper, and now that there are just 3 people living in my home, I still shop like that. So I am looking to continue, or actually enhance, those preparations. Something else that I would like to learn how to do this year is make spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce from scratch. I'd like to learn how to make pasta from scratch. I've made bread from scratch in the past using a bread machine that I stopped using and eventually got rid of it, because when I declutter, I get rid of things I haven't used in many years, and that had not been used in many years. And here I go, I need a bread machine, but I'm not going to buy one. I have some loaf pans that I've had for years. I like them, and I'm not investing in another bread machine. I would also like to just kind of refresh my skills on canning. I have canned before. When I was growing tomatoes years ago, I had quite a bounty of those, and I was growing, I think, grape tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. Really good bounty because tomatoes are pretty easy to grow, and I wanted to preserve some of those in some kind of way. So what I ended up doing with those was I made some homemade salsa, and I canned it. I had a few jars of it, and honestly, I didn't even really need to can it because my family ate it so quickly. There was nothing left for the shelf just even a couple of weeks later. So if I get around to canning some salsa this year, I know that I have to have a lot of it so that it'll last us more than a week or 2. So another thing I'm planning to learn how to do in terms of being self-sufficient and not having to rely as much on the grocery store is I want to learn how, I mentioned bread, but I want to learn how to make sourdough bread. So I am also going to be experimenting here shortly with making my own sourdough bread starter. I put out a message online to my friends on my personal Facebook page, and then a friend, I said, does anyone have a recipe for a sourdough starter? Of course, I found some online, but I wanted to know if anyone who I knew personally had made their own sourdough starter and it was a good starter. The recipe was a good one. So I had a friend who, she responded almost immediately, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? She is actually a baker. That's what she does for a living. That's what she does by trade. She bakes, and she bakes sourdough bread. So she sent me a recipe for a sourdough starter, and I'll be making my own starter. If you're not interested in making your own starter, you can reach out to someone you know and see if they have any sourdough starter they can give to you, or maybe you can even buy from them, or you can even go online and buy some sourdough starter. But I wanted to learn how to make my own starter, so that's why I reached out to get a recipe that someone else had actually used. So, all of that said, it is now time to get started on getting these seeds ready. So, I, off the top of my head right now, don't know how much of anything I'm going to plant. I'm actually still pretty surprised that I don't have any tomato seeds. So that means, I mean, I have this grow kit right here, but I know I have some seeds. I have to have some seeds. The tomatoes that I grew last year were from plants that I purchased at a farm, but I have done tomatoes in years past using my own seeds, so I probably have some out in the shed, which is where this was with my garden supplies. Probably do have some out in the shed, but if I don't, I can run out and buy some from the store. I really do like cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, so that's what I'm looking to start with, but I'm quite sure once I get to the store and see some other varieties, I'll probably invest in those. I did. I have grown beefsteak tomatoes in the past, and those were, I didn't have as much of a bounty of those as I had for the cherry tomatoes and the grape tomatoes. So last one here. So, but yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on filling some of these. Okay, so there were supposed to be, looks like 10 pots in each one. And here I have more than 10. I have 11, so woohoo, yay me. So right here in this bag, I'm going to go ahead and take these seeds out. There are lots of packets of seeds here. So I'm going to set aside the ones that I do want to start. So carrots, yes. Broccoli and cauliflower, I'm not sure. Brussels sprouts, yes. Cabbage, same family, yes. Celery. Corn I will put to the side, but that might end up being a yes. Not sure about green onions. That can be a yes. And these grow really easily, so that's a yes. Kale, absolutely, because I love kale just as much as I love spinach. These are green bell pepper seeds, which is pretty handy because I don't have any green bell pepper seeds that I was able to get from my own bell peppers. Lettuce, absolutely. Eggplant, I didn't say that one. I'm going to put that next to the corn and say maybe. Cantaloupe, absolutely, I said that before. Pumpkins, probably not. Radishes, probably not. Spinach, hello, yes. Watermelon, hello to that too. Turnip, not sure. Okay, here are some Roma tomatoes. I do have at least one pack of tomato seeds. Winter squash, not sure. Zucchini, I've grown this before, as well as cucumbers. They grew, like, I had explosive growth, so yes on that. Swiss chard, I'm gonna say yes on that. So I think I've named way more things than I talked about before, but oh well, it's not gonna hurt to have quite a bounty. These are large cherry tomato seeds, so that's an absolute yes. Green beans, I've had mixed success with growing these in the past, but I'm gonna try it again. Parsnip, not sure. Here's some regular radishes. Romaine, I've grown in the past. Yes, I love green leafy vegetables, in case you can't tell. Peas. These are sugar snap sugar daddy peas. That's a maybe. I'll put that with a corn and eggplant. Butter crunch lettuce. Like I said, I love green leafy vegetables. Cucumbers. Beets, probably not. Beans, probably not. Basil. I grew a lot of basil last summer, and I'll tell you something. So the basil that I grew was, it was purple basil. I think I had regular basil too, but I also had purple basil. And that, I did not grow it from seed. I had some small plants that I purchased from a farm and had really good success with that. And I am prone to mosquito bites. So this is part of the medicinal thing here. I'm prone to mosquito bites, but that's not why I grew the basil. But last summer, even though we have screens, like power screens that come down and protect us from the bugs outside on our deck, there are times when there are bugs trapped inside because like the screens are not down all the time. So bugs will be in there, mosquitoes will be in there, and I would get eaten alive, and then I'd have to deal with mosquito bites. So one night when my husband and I were sitting outside, I was just so disturbed by these mosquito bites. Like, if you are considered food by mosquitoes, you know what I'm talking about. So I was so disturbed that I was like, look, something's got to change. Something has to happen. This is uncomfortable. So we Googled remedies for mosquito bites, and we were surprised to see that basil was something that would assist. So of course, because I had a bounty of it growing, I got up, grabbed some basil leaves, gave them to my husband. And so what you really need from the basil is you need the oil that's inside. So we just like crushed the basil leaves in our hands to expose the soil. And then my husband rubbed all of my mosquito bites with the basil oil, and it gave me immediate relief. Now, did it give me long-term relief? Not really. But it gave me immediate relief and allowed me to continue sitting outside without wanting to cry because I was so upset. So, yes to the basil. And there's one other thing here. This is okra. I've literally never had okra. And I'm not sure I'm willing to try it. So that's going to go into the pile of things I'm not going to try. So I have some things that I'm absolutely not going to be planting. So I'm just going to put those seeds over here to the side so they don't get mixed up with everything else. I have an if pile here, which would be the eggplant, broccoli, cauliflower, corn, and peas. I might put the peas in it, not today thing. Corn, I don't know. Should I? Okay. And the cauliflower and eggplant. Goodness. Now the cauliflower, if I had seeds for orange or purple cauliflower, which I have bought at the grocery store, I would probably plant those because I love colorful foods. I'll put it over here and maybe we'll get to that later. But I need to go ahead and get some more of these ready because, as you can see, I have decided to plant a lot more than I said I was going to plant before. Even as I'm talking, I don't know how many of these little seed starter pots I'm going to plant certain things in. So I might have like 3 or 4 tomato pots. I might have a couple of watermelon pots. I don't know, but I bought 4 10-packs from Dollar Tree. As we saw earlier, one of them actually came with 11. So I have somewhere around 40 of these. I have a lot that I can use. And honestly, I still have some I think in the shed from years past that I didn't get from Dollar Tree, but they worked pretty well. So I have 4 times 6, I have 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, I have 31, it looks like. I have 31 out. I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and if I need more, I'll just go ahead and take some more of those out. It is recommended that you use gloves when you're working with this. I'm not going to do that. I feel like the gloves just kind of get in the way. By the way, there are holes, there are drainage holes in the bottom of each one of these. So I don't have to worry about putting any drain holes in here. I can just go on about my business of filling up these little pots. Now, it would probably be a little bit easier if I would use my trowel. That's outside. It's not that cold outside today. Alexa, what's the weather right now?
Right now, it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has intermittent clouds with a high of 47 degrees and a low of 29 degrees.
Yeah, it's not too cold outside. I could go out there and get that. I could, but will I? I don't know. So let me just go ahead and fill these up really quickly. A quicker way to fill these up is just to reach into the bag and scoop some out. So I think I'm just going to do that. Yeah, this is a lot faster than what I was doing before. And if I need to go back later and fill some in, that'll be okay. Okay, so now that these are filled, I can go ahead and start planting my seeds. So I'm going to start here with the large cherry tomato. This says it's 75 days to maturity. I have to plant them approximately a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch deep into the soil. I need about 18 inches to 36 inches when I plant them, as far as spacing, when I plant them outside. They take 5 to 12 days to germinate. And when I start indoors, I'm supposed to start about 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost. I'm inside of that window because I waited well, I got sick, so that's why I didn't get them planted before. But I'm starting now, better late than never. But 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost is when you start indoors, and it's, like I said, I'm within that window, or at least somewhat near that window. And these should be in sun or shady conditions. So I'm going to take out a few seeds here. And I do want a lot of tomatoes because, as I said, I plan on making some homemade salsa that I plan to can. I'm going to be making some tomato paste and some pasta sauce, so I need a lot of tomatoes to make that happen. So I'm just going to plant a few seeds. In some different pots. I'm going to go ahead and push the seeds down in here a little bit. Not too much. So my first row here is all large cherry tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and write on these little identifiers here, which, by the way, these did come with the kit. They came with the Seed Vault kit. So large cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and write on, let's see, 5 of these because I have put seeds into 5 of the plant pots. These are the large cherry tomatoes. Large cherry tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here because it's pretty easy to forget where you plant. At least pretty easy for me. So I went ahead and made labels for all of the items that I'll be planting today. I have 35 of these, but I have, I believe, 43 of these containers. Now, According to Dollar Tree, there should have, no, wait a minute. I actually have only opened 3 of those packs. Okay, anyway, I don't have the same number of these labels as I have of the seed pods, but that's okay. I can get some labels later. So right now I have, these are the large cherry tomatoes. I'm going to be planting probably 2 packs of the Roma tomatoes. Yes, because I already decided the quantities based on the labels that I made. So I made 2 for the Roma tomatoes. So if I can go ahead and get this packet opened, get some of the seeds out here. So for Roma tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and plant some seeds in here. And some seeds in here. Again, I said I'm going to do 2 of these. Go ahead and do 2. And now I can put my plant identifiers in here so that I don't forget later on what is where. So now that's 2 kinds of tomato seeds already done. Make sure that's not upside down. So then let's see, next I'm going to go ahead with some zucchini. I think I need 2 labels for the zucchini and 2 for the cucumbers. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the zucchini. I'm really excited about growing this. This is something that our 11-year-old loves, which is great. I grew some zucchini when he was younger. I also grew lots of things, but zucchini, I have a picture of him holding some giant zucchini squash that I had just harvested. He also loves cucumbers. He likes cucumbers just plain, so I would just go outside and harvest some, clean them and slice them, and he would eat them. And to this day, he still eats cucumbers plain, just like that. Spinach would be something that would help him to stop crying. Spinach, I have a video, it's so funny. When he was crying one day, just standing here in the kitchen, I went outside and harvested some spinach, came in and cleaned it and handed it to him, and he stopped crying immediately. He was about maybe 1 or 2 at the time. He stopped crying immediately because he had some spinach. So
some spinach? Yummy. All better? Yeah, all better.
I will forever love the fact that this kid enjoys fresh fruits and vegetables. So I have some zucchini seeds here. I'm going to go ahead and plant, I don't know, maybe 3 in each one of these here, but I'm going to space them out a little bit since these are pretty big. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some labels in here. So those are my zucchini plants. I want to do cucumbers next. Cucumbers right here. So the plan for cucumbers is to grow enough so that he can continue snacking on them like he does, but also using them in salads and making some pickles. So in the past, with my cucumber bounty, I made some freezer pickles, and that's something I plan on making again this year. I did not can any pickles. I might try that, but I did do some freezer pickles, and those were pretty simple. So here's the thing. When I put those into the freezer, months later, even a year later, when I took some out to use them, they were still really crunchy. So if you like crunchy pickles, freezer pickles are the way to go. I did, and that's if you don't want to do any canning, but I did those freezer pickles. When I made those, what was I thinking? I don't know. I guess I'll just cut this part out. So I'm going to have a second container here with cucumbers. Go ahead and get those labeled. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start planting some things. I'll be labeling. I might not have this part on video, but I'll come back later when I'm all done deciding what's going to go where. Okay, so here is everything all potted. These items over here I did not have labels for, so I just wrote on the containers themselves. This is some pumpkin. This is some winter squash. I also went ahead and planted some carrots. Green beans were on the list. Yellow watermelon and another yellow watermelon. I've gone ahead and put all of the seed pots onto some cardboard here. This is really thin cardboard, but I forgot to bring some trays in here from the shed, so I'm just going to put them on here right now so that when I water them, they will not, the water will not leak through. And I'm going to be watering with this watering container that I purchased at Costco, but Dollar Tree does have some that are almost identical. They come in a variety of colors. I think there's like terracotta, gray, there might be, I'm pretty sure there's a turquoise one. So those are the 3 colors that I do know that they have. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started on watering my seeds. Trying not to spill water and get it all over the island, which is exactly what just happened. I feel like I kind of have to take my time with this because the water really is pouring out. This is the same watering container that I use for the plants that I keep in the family room. It's perfect for that, but I'm not so sure that it's perfect for this application. I can see water just floating all over the island. So I have to be more careful. And if I had these in a tray, I wouldn't have to be as careful. Honestly, I could just pour a little bit, not necessarily recklessly, but with a little more abandon than I'm able to pour right now. Okay, now that's all done. So I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is to get these grow kits started. So the directions on the box say to dissolve growing medium pellet into 3/4 cups of water, fluff with a fork, and place into the pot. Then gently press the seeds into the surface of the growing medium and do not cover. Strawberry seeds need light to germinate. All right, so it doesn't say how long you have to soak these, the growing medium pellet. It just says soak it in 3/4 cups of water. So I have this here. This is what needs to be soaked in water. The seeds are in this packet here. These are alpine strawberries. And then I have this here. Now, this is, there are a lot of drainage holes at the bottom, and I need to, tell you what, I'm going to put these temporarily in here so that the water does not drain all over the place. So I'm going to do that with that strawberry pit. With this one. So these are the 2 strawberry ones. I need to make sure that I keep these in order so I don't mix them up with the one for tomatoes. So this is the tomato growing kit. Again, it comes with this growing medium here, and some cherry tomato seeds. So let's keep this nicely organized. I think technically red could be for strawberries or tomatoes, but the tomato one is in a red container and the 2 strawberry ones are in yellow containers. And for the tomato one, it's down in there. We'll stick. For the tomato ones, let me just make sure it's the same. I should just be soaking this in some water. 3/4 cups of water, fluff with a fork, place into the pot. So tomato seeds 1/4 inch deep and lightly covered with growing medium. So let me go ahead and get a container, or I wonder, this actually works for that. So this will be the tomato one. Now, it says to fluff with a fork. I'm not even sure that I need to do that because it's already quite fluffy. So I'm just going to make sure I get this into the right container. This is the one for tomatoes. That growing medium really broke up pretty quickly in the water. This is fantastic, actually. I don't think I'll be needed to fluff this with a fork at all. That fluffed up pretty quickly when I put it in the water. That was a matter of about, 5 seconds or so. All right, so now I need to take these cherry tomato seeds and plant them here in the growing medium. So it looks like about a half dozen seeds maybe. So this is how many seeds came out of that packet. So I'll just spread them around a little bit and then cover them with the growing medium. I do not need to add water because I already soaked the growing medium in water and this is quite moist. So I'm going to repeat that process. With the growing medium for the 2 strawberry plants. So this is what this looks like. And now I'm going to open the strawberry packet. We'll see how many are in here. A few seeds in here. Alright, strawberry seeds are pretty tiny, but that's what we have there. Right here, those are the strawberry seeds. So I'm just going to drop them into the growing medium. Actually, I think it said don't cover. So don't cover the strawberry medium. And now this is the last cup here. And I'm just going to go ahead and soak this in some water. Okay, so now this is ready to transfer to the container. And now I have to do the same thing with the strawberry seeds. That's it right there. I'm just going to let these roll off into the growing medium, and I don't want to cover it. I don't want to cover the seeds. I'm going to put them into this container so that when they drain, water's not getting all over the place. Here are the finished pots. I forgot to mention that I did purchase some purple bell pepper seeds. I bought those about 2 months ago, And that is because last year I bought some purple bell pepper plants from a farm, and I really like how they turned out. They're also beautiful vegetables. I like a lot of different colors on my plate, so purple bell peppers were perfect to add to my plate last year. I actually had them in years past as well, but I bought them at the grocery store, so I get to grow my very own purple bell peppers this year. Okay, so now it's finally time to set up my arrow garden. All right, so we have a quick setup guide. We have a couple of recipes. One is for pesto, and one is for a tomato cucumber salad with mint. Go ahead and put those to the side. Great. Oh, you can get a free seed pot kit if you sign up for Arrow Garden emails. Okay. I'll think about it. And now, what do we have in the box? So this here is the 6-pot kit. Some gourmet herbs. Here we have our power plug. And it looks like this is the actual arrow garden. So it looks like it's mostly assembled already. So this is what it looks like. And now I'm just going to check out the quick step guide. So I don't know which one I have. Which one do I have? So there are 3 covered by this. I think I have just the Harvest one. There's a Harvest 360, and a Harvest Slim. I feel like I have the Harvest one. All right, so you have to make sure that the bowl is securely seated in the base, and that's what was going on when I was taking that out of the box. Step 2 is to make sure that the pump cord is plugged into the connector at the back of the base. That is already plugged in. It's already plugged in. I'm going to take this tape off here. Let's see. It says get going in 4 easy steps, so that was 1 and 2. Step number 3 is to remove the water cover. So that would be this piece right here. This is the water cover. Remove that. And then add plant food directly to bowl in per instruction. So I'm assuming that the plant food is in this kit. Alright, so for the kit we have 6 seed pods. This is what they look like. And they are labeled. Let's see this one. Oh. This one is parsley. There is basil on this one also. I need to keep this label on here so that I don't get these things confused. Right. That's the parsley. This one's basil. This one here is thyme. Thai basil. Plenty of basil when you add it to what I already have. Dill. And then, mint. This is something that I grew a lot of last year. And actually, I probably should get some more mint seeds because I'm going to need some mint. I like using fresh mint in fruit salads. I like using it in tea. So that is definitely something that I need to plant some more seeds for. So then let's see. Oh, what else is in this kit? We have these little, these are like little grow domes. So there are 6 of these. This is a bottle of liquid food plant. And it comes with a measuring cup right here. Let me get a little bit closer so that you can see. Not sure if there we go. You can see the measurements on the cup here. Milliliters on this side. Okay, it looks like milliliters on both sides. This is a little measuring cup. Isn't it cute? And is that it in the box? I think that's it. Seed pod kit instructions. Right, so let me see. I'm going to put that to the side and finish the steps right here. So I need to add water to the line that says fill to here. Oh. I was actually looking for a line, but it's not quite a line. It's like a little cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water in here. Let's make sure we don't spill any water here. Spill enough earlier today. Okay, so here's the fill line, that little cylinder right there that I was talking about. Okay, so now I have to add the liquid plant food, and it says for 6 and 7 pod models, which is what I have here. I have a 6 pod model, to use 8 milliliters, which is 2 capfuls, at startup every 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up this cap twice. Don't know what I was expecting color-wise, but just like a dark brown. So this is 8 milliliters one time, and another 8 milliliters. And then step 4 calls for placing the seed pods in the openings on the grow deck. So that is the next step. We have, if I recall correctly, there are 2 different kinds of basil. I just want to put them near each other. Oh, spell out. This one is, that's a parsley. So I'll go ahead and put, let's see, parsley here. I will put thyme here. Oh, okay, this is one of the 2 basils. This is Thai basil. Go ahead and put that there. I'm going to make sure it's properly seated. There's another kind of basil here. This one sprouts in 6 to 12 days, it says. Doesn't seem like that one wants to get properly seated. Here we have some dill. And in here we have some mint. I'm going to love the mint. Okay, so the next step is to add the grow domes on top. It creates like a kind of greenhouse effect. And then once the seedlings get tall enough to touch the grow domes, you want to go ahead and take those off. Once they sprout to that height, it is time to remove the grow domes. So the next thing I'm going to do is plug in I'm going to plug in the power cord. Now it's a really long cord, so I just unfurled as much as I need because this is going to sit pretty close up to the backsplash. I didn't want to have the entire length unwound, so I'm just going to now plug this into the back of the unit. And now I'm going to plug it into the outlet here. Wow, look at how bright that light is. So here it says add plant food, add water, and then light on and off. I added some plant food. I added some water. That right there is the light on off button. I added water already. The light hood is adjustable, but the instructions say to set it to the lowest height. This right here is as high as it goes, but I need to just adjust this down. There's like a little button back here that you squeeze and go ahead and push it down from the top. Okay, so per instructions, when you plug in the AeroGarden for the first time, the grow light will come on. We saw that happen. And it will continue to come on at the same time every day. So right now it is 4:10. It's about 2 minutes ago when I plugged it in, so about 4:08 p.m. And it says it'll come on at the same time every day and it will turn off automatically 15 hours later. If you would like to change the time of day that the light comes on, you would just simply follow these steps. So touch and hold your finger over the lights on off button for about 3 seconds. And then release it when it blinks. The LED lights will turn on and off once to confirm a new light time has been set. Now your grow lights will come on at this time every day and will stay on for 15 hours. So I don't know right now that this is a good time or not a good time to have these lights come on, but I'm just going to leave them set to right now. As far as the buttons down here, the add plant food button and the add water button. So for adding the plant food, once you add your liquid plant food to the bowl, when you first install your seed pod kits, the add food plant reminder it's going to turn red every 2 weeks. And then you would just follow the directions on the bottle to add some more plant food, some of that liquid plant food that we added earlier. And then you're going to touch the add plant food button once to turn off the alert and reset the plant food timer. And then you would follow the same directions essentially for the watering button. So the add water indicator also will flash red. Well, it's going to flash red if the water level drops more than halfway below the fill line. And it's okay to add water to the fill line really at any time. But it says for best growth, keep the garden topped up. And then your pump cycle is set to go on for 5 minutes and off for 25 minutes. So I accomplished what I set out to do today in terms of getting my survival garden started. I have planted lots of seeds here. I still need to get some mint seeds because I did forget about that, but I'll get some mint seeds so that I can start some of those as well. I have my strawberries going, my tomatoes going, so many different vegetables and fruit here. I have my AeroGarden finally set up after getting it for a gift in Christmas 2023. Having said that, thank you so much for walking through this process with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to see this kind of content in the future but are not yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button. And when you do, don't forget to click the notification bell so that you won't miss out on future uploads. Until the next time, stay blessed.